Alright, I'm going to prepare my Airhead composting toilet for use in my tiny house on wheels. So, this is a brick of Cocotech General Hydroponics. This is organic growing medium. National Coconut coir? I'm not sure how you say that. Coconut fibers. So, you say Airhead Composting toilets, they put instructions of their own on here. Place a brick in a bag, add one and a half to 2 quarts of water, break it apart, place in a solids tank, leave any dry lumps. Solids tank should be half full at the start. Store unused coir in zip bag to avoid contamination. So, I'm going to call this coconut fiber in the future because I don't know how to say that word. So I'm going to just empty this out into a plastic bag, hoping that the bag has no holes. And I'm going to slowly add 1.5 to 2 quarts of water to this stuff as it expands. I think I'm going to do this in a pan as I work just for safety. Alright, I've got a pan to put under this just in case it leaks. I hate to leak flour into the bottom inside my floor. Some of you guys know how sensitive I am about leaks inside the tiny house floor. Now, I've got a quart of water. There's baby cat. She's always got to be involved, don't you? Huh? Nothing gets past her. So I have a quart from a milk, well, it was a milk container, quart milk container. I'm just going to add this in here slowly and break it up as I go. And I won't bore you with the entire process because I'm sure it's going to take a few minutes. So, I'll just add up however much it takes, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Well, it's a little bit of a slow process, but it is absorbing the water. It has taken an entire quart. Pouring slowly out of this container is not possible. Now it's sucking up everything I give it. I'm going to go with 1.5 quarts and then let it sit a while before I do anything else with it. Pretty interesting stuff. Composting toilets are fun. How many people can say that about their toilet at home? Unless you're a child playing in the water. Yeah, it's sucking it right up now as I pour it in. And then I'll let that set. When I'm done with the 1.5 quarts, a little bit more. When I've got that in there, I'll just let it sit a while. Let that water evenly distribute itself. I don't know if you can see it, but it's growing visibly. A little bit more. Alright, I'll leave it at that for now. I'll just let that sit for a while. Come back to it later and see how it looks. Give this thing a pop. Slide it over, and the top should slip right off. Okay. Now we want to put the bottom part aside for now and turn the top over. Because what we're going to do now, let me see, I want the vent on this side. What we're going to do now is put the ventilation hose in, which is simply this is the part that the hose screws into. I better double check that while I'm at it. And it's backwards, it's reverse thread. Yeah, that screws on very nicely. Alright. Make sure I got the camera centered properly here. Yes, you can see what I'm doing. So this screws on reverse thread really nicely. That's the hose for ventilation. So this goes in here because that's going to be on my left side. I'm sitting on it right side, going out the wall. And what I'm going to do, I've watched the videos. They have videos online explaining how this works. You just want this to turn freely. And you put some, where's my glue? PVC cement on there. Now you don't want it on the toilet part itself, so I'm going to put it on here because you only want it on the ring. Whoops. And get that on there. And hold it snug for 30 seconds. It should hopefully be permanently attached to this. I think it's 30 seconds according to the instructions, if I remember right. Yeah. So, I've now got the air hose fitting on my composting toilet. Just going to dab up the drips with a piece of paper towel real quick. One down in there. Okay. Now, the video that shows how to assemble this shows that if you have trouble, you can put some small stainless steel bolts through there if needed. Now, on the other side, there is a screen, ventilation screen that just pops in place. Right there. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. And this just pops right in place. That's your vent. Done. And from watching the videos, that's the only part of assembly that the user has to actually do at home. Everything is pre-assembled when you get it and ready to use. That and the preparing the coconut shell. Now, I'm just going to leave this exposed for a while, let that air out, and then I'm going to test the fittings, make sure it stays on. So that's it for now. I'll be back later on when I put the coconut shell inside my composting toilet, getting it ready to use. Well, it's time to install my Airhead composting toilet. So, what I'm going to do is I want to center this. Make sure that. Okay, I don't have that straight, so I got to make sure that's straight first. Alright, I didn't have that locked in. Now, I'm going to have some pallet wood on the OSB later, so I want to make sure that the seat will open and not be a problem with that. So I want to leave a gap enough so that'll be able to open. Okay. Now, I'm not cramped for quarters here, so I think that's fine right where it is. I'm not really too cramped. I do have to test the hose. Let me check the hose because I want to make sure it'll be able to fit in the side without kinking. It is a flexible hose, but I want to make sure I have room here for that. Let me see. Maybe I'll do a little bit more space for that. So that'll go in. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Because I'm not too cramped here for space, so I don't have to really crowd this in. Leave room there. Room behind. Actually, I want it centered under the window. That's exactly how I'm going to have it. It's centered under the window. So, you can see, basically, that looks good, I think. I think that's alright. Right dead center over the window frame. Now, this is going to go in here. I'm going to line everything up first. Now, I'm taking my time. I'm not really rushing here, but I want to make sure I do a good job is why. Okay. I think that looks alright. Alright, it looks good. So I'm going to mark the brackets where they're positioned on the floor. All 4 of the brackets. There's 2 on the liquid holding tank, and there's 2 on the toilet itself. So I'm just going to mark around them with a pencil so I know where they go. Okay. Right. And then the others, those brackets got to be marked so that I have, when I take away the toilet, I can mount these onto the floor with the screws that are provided. Alright, there's that. Now, I can take the brackets off the toilet. Oops. Take these. Put the toilet aside. Now, make sure you can see what I'm doing here still. Yeah, alright. Now I'm going to get some screws. I'll pause the camera. Okay. I've got one position here. I was just checking things out. I've got one sitting in place. I'm going to mark the screw holes with a pencil. And same with the other one. Get it positioned. Mark the screw holes. And same with the little brackets for the liquid tank. Alright, now I'm going to pre-drill them. And get my drill bits. Hope you can see well. You want to choose a drill bit that's just as big as the shaft of the screw, or a little smaller. Okay, now I'm going to pause the camera while I sweep this mess up before I proceed. Actually, I'm going to clean this whole area up over here. So I'll pause the camera a minute. Alright. Now, alright, I'm going to finish that with a regular screwdriver. I want to test fit it though first. Before I go too wild on this. It's awkward trying to not block the camera while working. So the toilet fits fine. Let's see if I can get this to go in nicely before I torque those screws down tight. Just checking for fit now. Now, a container goes in like this. Oh, look at that. Really nice. That's going to be good. Oh, perfect. Alright. That's going to be good. Alright, I want to get a screwdriver and finish tightening him, because I don't want to over tighten him and strip out the wood. Okay, now I can put my toilet on. Line it up over the brackets. So, hope you can see that alright. I've got the screws slipped down into the brackets here, and then you just tighten them down, finger tight. Toilet is secure. Then the liquids container, you just sort of tip it like this and push it up in, and it's secure. Now you can screw that tight, the wing nuts there. Just lightly tighten it, and your toilet's ready for use. Well, almost. Now I've got to put the composting material inside. So that stuff has been preparing all day. So I just have to twist the top of the toilet off. I have to give mine a little tap, it's pretty tight. Now, this is ready for the hose, which I'll later drill in and put through the wall. But right now I want to get the composting material in. I want to show you the inside of this, how it works actually, before we proceed. There's the hand crank turns this stainless steel bar, which spins the material inside, and that mixes it. So I'm going to get my coconut shell and put it in there to the right level. Okay, now it's time to put in the material I prepared earlier. The instructions say to make it half full from the top of the tank. So I've already I've mixed this up and mashed it up with my hand previously. So it has absorbed all the fluids, and it is finally, it's a fine powder now. Hope you can see it. It's turned into a fine, nice powder now. That'll be the last time I put my hands in that stuff. After it goes in the toilet, I won't be doing that again. So, I'm going to try to carefully pour some of this in here. There's a lump. Just making sure I got all the larger chunks. Break it up nice. So, it's interesting. That's roughly about half. Now I can put the lid back on. Actually, I think I can add the last little bit of this. It doesn't look like it's quite half full. So put the lid on. I got interrupted last night when I was finishing this up, so sorry about that. Important phone call. So I'm finishing this up this morning now. Make sure you got it down on there tight and straight. There you go. There's gaskets on there, so it's a tight fit. And then give it a little tap. Then you can tighten your wing nuts. And then all I have to do yet is the ventilation hose, which I'll do at a later time. But that's it for now so far. This could be essentially used after I get the once I get the ventilation done, that's it. This is ready for use. So we'll do that later on. There's my Airhead composting toilet so far, installed and almost ready to roll.